Conservation Commission on Thursday, March 16th, 2023. The first item on the agenda is open forum. Does anybody have anything for open forum?
Madam Chair, just as a point of order, all votes will be by roll call.
Okay. Marilyn?
Before Eric had gotten on, we had talked about who might be at a town meeting. Eric, are you planning to be at the town meeting
When is it?
Saturday?
The
The
25th.
25th, the 25th, I'm sorry, not Saturday.
Yeah, I should be able to be there on the 25th.
Okay. We had just, so that was the only thing I wanted to mention.
And Noel, I
Yep.
think you also joined since we're discussing.
Can you come, Noel? Is his sound on?
Noel says he can't hear anything now,
Oh my God.
so he's gonna drop and rejoin.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's move on and we'll find out later if he can come.
I mean, we can also coordinate at the meeting next week. So
Oh, I agree. I'm
But we-
sorry.
I think we have probably enough. So
Okay, okay.
Okay, so while Noel is joining, the next item on our agenda is to review and approve the O'Brien Farm Public Footbridge design.
I can take this one, Madam Chair. As a part of the order of conditions for the construction of the public footbridge at the O'Brien Farm Conservation Restriction, we went to a different designer, hoping that their design would be a little bit more consistent with manual installation techniques as opposed to some of the previously proposed that were reviewed, I think back in January, that may have required more some heavy equipment. And as seen on the plan, certainly is more consistent with the conceptual design that was proposed to the commission and the as a part of the community preservation application last year. The footings are the proposed 2-inch posts into the ground, attached to pipe brackets on the structure of the footbridge itself. Certainly should be able to be installed manually. Additionally, the framing plan, this was discussed with the building commissioner. Building commissioner thought it looked good and would be suitable for a building permit to be obtained, and also in speaking with the town manager's office in terms of procurement. This design certainly was consistent with being utilized for procurement as the final plan. One other couple things to note: the plan does show 1.5-inch molded fiberglass grating, which should allow snow and rain to pass through, as opposed to the original white oak decking. It should also allow for better traction for the users. As previously discussed, the property owner, Charlie McCullough, Dan Stimson with the Sudbury Valley Trustees, and Dave Evetson with the Westford Conservation Trust. All members of the project team are available. If any of them would like to speak, I'd be more than happy to. If they can, I don't know if they can raise their hand, but I will allow them to. I think their microphones were, if anyone would like to speak, please go forward and state your name for the record.
Charlie's muted, but
if he wants to.
Hi, Matt. This is Dan Stimson from SVT. You've presented it well, and I appreciate your work on this. Everything looks good to me.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Dan, can you hear me, Charlie?
Yes, we can.
Okay, yeah, I just, as the property owner, I just want to confirm that we're in agreement.
Okay.
Hi, Dave Evetson here. I just want to mention one thing. I'm also in agreement. It's an excellent plan. All those involved, Matt and Charlie and the others have done an excellent job and follow through. I'm also in a butter, which is, I live approximately 100 feet from where the bridge will be. And the whole area of this town is looking forward to it. So I'd like to thank all those involved for their participation and taking part in getting this bridge developed and built. Thank you.
Okay.
Matt, I did have one question. It occurred to me now with the molded fiberglass grating. I don't have a mental picture of what that is. My only question would be where we're changing the decking material. Would that be any kind of an issue for, I don't know if this bridge is supposed to support, for example, horse traffic, or if this kind of a grading is an issue if people are walking their dogs across it?
No, it is. That was actually a question that Dave originally raised when we were kind of discussing that. And looking at the molded fiberglass, it certainly 1.5 inches. It does support, dog paws. Horse traffic, I liked the live load, is 60 pounds per square foot. I don't know how much a horse weighs, but it's a public footbridge. I think it was intended for, foot traffic. So I don't know if it was designed for that, but I think it would be sufficient for.
And this was me just thinking about what kind of people have been, used to using this trail, whatever. And I don't know, Charlie or Dave, if you've got anything to add in terms of, has this trail just generally been for pedestrian traffic?
Yes. Dave Evetson speaking again. The trailer is used by pedestrians. Also, the Neshoba Valley Tech High School uses it for jogging. They have, their jogging races, and they go through there quite often. But I use that trail every day walking through it, and there is a lot of traffic in the area. People enjoy it, and most of them are joggers. Some of the people from the high-tech companies on Route 110 come down and go jogging through it also. So it's basically pedestrian.
Okay.
This is Charlie. If I could just add, also the approaches on both sides are very narrow. I have not seen any horse traffic there at all, but I have seen, obviously a lot of foot traffic. The other thing is I have seen it in use. I did go to a site right at the end of the Mass Pike at 128 that's in use. And one of the reasons we will recommending it is the permanency of it. So we don't have to, in a number of years, have to go back in and change the planking and what have you. So I think it'll do a good job on the thing.
Thank you. Okay, so seeing or hearing no further comments, Matt, we need a motion to approve
the design.
to approve the design for this public footbridge so that it can go out for RFQs.
Invitation for bids, but yeah, to go through procurement.
Okay, so it can start the procurement process.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, so that's Marilyn did the motion and did the second. Roll call vote. Marilyn,
Yes.
Noel,
yes.
Anne,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
and Margaret, yes.
Okay,
Okay.
Thank you.
Moving on to our next agenda item. It's a request for a one-year extension to the order of conditions for 4 Shelley Lane.
The property owner is, if you would like to unmute himself and state his name for the record.
This is Gene DeCesare for Shelley Lane.
Good afternoon, Jean.
How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
So if you,
You
go
want me-
ahead.
So in 2016, we were getting a few trees cut down, and we got approval. At the same time, Carol suggested, since we were thinking about replacing the driveway at some point, to put that into the same process. So we did that. 2016 came out, cut the trees down. 2019, Carol called up and said, it's about to expire. It's been 3 years. Do you want to extend? I said, yep. We still want to replace it. We just don't know when yet. And so she did. And then last fall, I was looking at the driveway and it's really fallen apart pretty badly. So I said, okay, it's about time we replace it. We had some folks resetting some bluestone in the back of the yard, and they seem to be doing a pretty good job. So we talked to them, got an estimate. I included the estimate in the paperwork here. And so we decided that it's time to replace the driveway. I called Matt, I think in January, asked about it. He explained that it would have expired except for some COVID extension that went into place. So it's actually good till April, I believe. We talked to the K&R folks. They are actually hiring Neshoba Paving, I believe. And it seems unlikely we'll get it done by April, but we do intend to do it this year. So we're just looking for an extension for this year or for a full year to get that replaced. We're just going to replace it in the same footprint that it already has. There's no changes from what we intended to do when we originally got the approvals.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any comments or questions from members of the commission? Matt, anything?
Nope. And if the commission votes to approve, I'll have the paperwork at the next meeting for everybody to sign, and can send that to the property owner.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve a one-year extension of the order of conditions?
so moved.
Moved by
I'll
Marilyn,
second that.
second by Eric. All those in favor, Marilyn,
Yes,
Ann,
yes,
Noel,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
and Margaret, yes.
Thank you.
So you have your extension, and we'll sign the paperwork next Wednesday, so you can get it from Matt later next week.
Perfect.
So Matt, we're ready to adjourn?
Yep.
Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
so moved.
second,
Second.
Moved by Marilyn, seconded by Ann. All those in favor, Marilyn,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Ann,
yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
and Margaret, yes. So meeting is adjourned.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
everybody.
Thank you.